May I request those who are standing to please take a seat? Very well. How do you, sir? Ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again. And on behalf of Jet Airways and Etihad Airways, welcome and thank you for joining us today. My name is Rini Simon Khanna, and I will be your MC for today's media conference. It is a momentous occasion, ladies and gentlemen, for us at Jet Airways, India's leading full-service airline and the nation's second-largest carrier, and the national carrier of the United Arab Emirates, Etihad Airways. Please allow me to welcome and to introduce to you Mr. Naresh Goyal, Jet Airways Chairman, Mr. James Hogan, Etihad Airways President and Chief Executive, and Mr. Kramer Ball, Chief Executive Officer Designate of Jet Airways. During the course of this media interaction, both Mr. Goyal and Mr. Hogan will share the highlights of this partnership, which is the first direct foreign investment in aviation in India. Both airlines together will fly India forward. Following this, we will open the floor to questions and then give you an opportunity to take some photographs. So, without any more delay, let's get started. May I now invite Mr. Naresh Goyal, Chairman Jet Airways, to please address the gathering.
My dear members of the media, friends, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great privilege to welcome you this evening. I must confess, this meeting has been long overdue with our friends in media in Mumbai. And I would like to thank all of you for your presence. It took us a while to complete all the necessary formalities and regulatory processes for the first foreign direct investment in civil aviation in India between Jet Airways and Etihad Airways. Thanking you for bearing with us, and thank you for taking time from your busy schedules to grace this evening. I know there are a lot of AGMs are going, the other things happening, so I really thank you. Sharing the podium with me is my personal and a very dear friend of mine, the President and Chief Executive Officer of Etihad Airways, Mr. James Hogan, if we may. And I here to share with you the significant steps we are taking as we move ahead with this equity alliance. James is no stranger to Mumbai, and many of you may have interacted with him in the past. Like me, he's a great admirer of the media here, and of course all of the country, and we both salute the dynamic, high-pressure work that you tirelessly do to keep us all informed, all current events. I have watched with respect and admiration the growth of Etihad Airways, as a lot of you must have done that. Under James' dynamic leadership, within just 7 years, he has performed Etihad Airways from merely $300 million, approximately a regional company or player or few destinations they were flying, to over approximately 7.5 billion today, as we sit today. Global mega carrier. James is a visionary with a laser-sharp focus and an extraordinary execution skills, which we all know not many people have the execution. I'm one of them. And his passion for excellence is reflected in the globally respected and ever-evolving Etihad Airways product that we see today. James' business strategy has been groundbreaking and innovative. Moving away from the usual alliances, as we all know, models, James has created a strategic, collaborative model of equity alliance between like-minded international carriers. This model has turned out to record tremendous success for Etihad Airways, as well as its strategic alliance partners and customers, of course. And it is this strategic alliance model that we have entered into with Etihad Airways. This model brings significant value to us and to our guests and to our employees. This strategic investment and the future close working of the two airlines offer our guests wider product and destination choices. It offers greater stability and growth opportunity to our staff across our respective networks. It also builds on the strong cultural and trade links that India has always had with Abu Dhabi and the United Arab Emirates, as we know. Now, I would like to move on to a strategic imperative for us in the year ahead. A few weeks back, I think it was on the 23rd of July, my memory goes right, when we met last month, the media in Delhi, New Delhi, with my very dear friend James by my side, at that time, I had promised our airline taking swift action to re-emerge as India's and preferred airline brand, and we have kept to that promise. As you know, in '92, when we decided to form the airline, we said we will, because to me, the two Asian, once you beat Asian carriers at that time, you don't have to worry about. So we had said that we will not be inferior to the carriers such as Cathay and Singapore. And we, again, I'm committed that we will go back to the same reputation in terms of the brand Jet Airways was known for and will be known for, where every Indian, not only in India, worldwide, were proud of. That I promise you today. Today, at our board meeting, we have received approval for our next critical step to re-establish Jet Airways as a single master brand. This would mean harnessing our proud heritage and original values in one consistent, predictable, and clearly recognized full-service brand. And also promise you, Jet Airways used to be known that it is a Swiss clock operation. You can adjust your clock when you go. This will happen soon. Over the next few months, our guests and you and our friends in the media will see this single brand strategy reflect across our entire business. In the livery of our aircraft, our product, a service offering, and the frequent flyer program, I would like to assure you, all our guests and stakeholders, that by the year end, Jet Airways will again become the best domestic product in India. I'm also proud to introduce you to the new team at the helm that will drive this new single brand strategy for Jet Airways. And we believe, all of us, in the same philosophy. That's why we are together. And I present to you our CEO designate on my left, Mr. Kramer Wall. If I may request the Chief Operating Officer to stand up and just introduce himself. Subodh Karnik here. He's our Chief Operating Officer designate, who will take over their respective posts at Jet Airways in Mumbai after obtaining the necessary government clearances. Kramer and Subodh have a strong background in international aviation and are working closely with their Jet Airways team and members with Etihad Airways to realize the gains that we expect from this enterprise. I may take liberty of introducing Mr. James Rigney, who is the CFO of Etihad Airways, and he's one of the most brilliant persons. I know Indians are known worldwide in finance, but he's not inferior, if not better, than most people I know in the financial world. He is spending all his time, along with James, to make sure that we again take care of our shareholders, and the shareholders believe in this company and invest in this company. That I promise you. Together, we have drawn up a 3-year roadmap to profitability, which includes route and network optimization, capacity and equipment rationalization, and strong emphasis on the enhancement of cost efficiency across the board. Etihad Airways, the national airline of the United Arab Emirates, was established in 2003. Both of us have common long-term vision and commitment towards benefiting the Indian travelers and air travelers to and from within India and our foreign guests coming into and out of India. The alliance between us gives our guests a wide global network from multiple Indian cities. Our strategic collaboration will deliver a number of benefits, network optimization being one of them. Already the steps we have undertaken have started showing positive results with increased passenger and cargo revenue, higher yields, lower operating costs. Overall, Jet Airways Group revenue increased by 12.8% in the first quarter of the same period last year. Passenger revenue has also improved by 11.1% compared to the same quarter last year. Cargo revenue have shown a healthy increase of 10.2% over the same quarter last year. The comparison code share agreement rolled out in June this year has yielded very positive results of a growth of 157% over the same quarter last year. And this is only the beginning, as the full impact will be seen in the coming months. Our cooperation includes sharing our resources, collaborated and negotiated procurement of aircraft, cooperative negotiations of maintenance contracts, sharing our airport facilities, among others. This will enable us to leverage cost advantages and economies of scale to the eventual benefit of our guests. Jet Airways has already renegotiated some maintenance contracts which have resulted in savings of approximately INR 2,700 rupees, which is about 270 crore for the current year. All the aircraft of the airline are now effectively deployed, which were grounded last year. The company is also taking steps to retire its high-cost debt and to reduce the borrowing costs. During the first quarter of 2014, the debt the company has reduced by 21%. We are working with Etihad Airways to harmonize GSAs, General Sales Agents, and see if we can represent each other in common markets to reduce our costs of sale. We will seek representation with agencies in common markets globally. Our guests will be able to use their Jet Airways frequent flyer miles under Etihad Airways globally loyalty program and vice versa, which my friend James can explain little more in his presentation. In the area of cargo, Jet Airways is now part of Etihad Airways Global Incentive Program, which is enabling increased engagement with multinational forwarders and has already driven incremental revenue in the first quarter of 2014. Developments continue in the second quarter of this year with the introduction of new cargo products on the domestic network and the expansion of a new capacity forecasting tool which will improve cargo service delivery and increase the space available to sell. There is also a plan to examine the business case for India-based dedicated freighter aircraft. Our equity association with our equity association with Etihad Airways will also enable Jet Airways employees in India to enhance their careers. They will gain from the knowledge and know-how of Etihad Airways, advanced systems and processes. In line with the improved performance demonstrated by our international operation, we will introduce 12 new international flights by the end of this year, including flights to Dubai, Doha, Abu Dhabi, Singapore, Ho Chi Minh City, and Bangkok, enhancing our international footprint. Additionally, our access to Etihad Airways hub at Abu Dhabi will greatly benefit our tourism and trade and leisure traffic and complement our network by connecting with Etihad Airways, wide-body air services and freighter operations from Abu Dhabi to points in Europe and US and Canada. Our two main home hubs at Mumbai and New Delhi will continue to be key pillars of our growth, serving as central connecting points in our network. Significantly, over 45% of the international traffic on services to and from these two hubs is connecting beyond the hubs from its domestic network as well as from other international points. These hubs will continue handling increased inbound and outbound guests of both Jet Airways and Etihad Airways. With Etihad Airways coding on Jet Airways domestic network, their feed into domestic network is growing. Etihad Airways will have access to 50+ domestic destinations served by Jet Airways to our full-service domestic operations and to our hubs and extensive ground service network across the country, while Jet Airways will have access to Etihad Airways 83 international destinations. Our strategic working is a deeply collaborative effort for both of us, with a 24% investment by Etihad Airways, fulfilling the objective of the FDI policy to optimize the benefits to the Indian Alliance Associate. Indian guests are the winners of the first fruit of the FDI policy by getting increased connectivity, combined loyalty, offerings, and consistently high service levels in the air and on the ground. Our main aim in our tie-up will be to increase our market share and improve the excellence of our services to benefit our guests. Also, since both Jet Airways and Etihad Airways are renowned for innovative, superior service quality, we are confident that in a short span of time together, we would be able to fine-tune the excellence of our services and make them globally benchmarks for others to evaluate, hopefully. The benefits of our collaboration with Etihad Airways will continue to emerge and validate the government's wisdom and foresight in enacting this FDI policy. It will delight our guests, drive more tourists into India, and be a significant foreign exchange earner for our country. I am most grateful to the Government of India and the concerned ministry and the regulatory authorities for having carefully considered and supported the need for FDI civil aviation in India. May I now invite Mr. James Hogan, the President Chief Executive of Etihad Airways, to address you. Thank you.
Thank you, Naresh. It's great to be here in Mumbai. We've had an interesting day. We've flown in from Italy. We finalised the deal with Alitalia last week. We had our AGM today with Naresh, and here we are with you tonight. And because it was such an action-packed day, we saw that some of our competitors also held a press conference to try and keep pace with us. Well, we'll see. India. The bottom line is we love India. It's one of our closest neighbours, a population in excess of 1.2 billion people, a fast-growing economy, strong links between the Gulf and India, long trading relationship. Over 40 million Indians travel internationally each year, so it is a key outbound market. And as Naresh says, there's amazing mutual opportunities. My CFO is so brilliant, and he is brilliant. He's also married to an Indian. Maybe that helps James. And Naresh Goyal, there is no better man in aviation worldwide than Naresh. I think if all of you reflect back to when he started Jet Airways, the vision and the courage to establish India's first airline, private airline, to have that strength, that courage, that determination, and the focus on service, the focus on his staff, is one of the key factors we decided to work with Naresh. His core focus is aviation. And we as Etihad Airways, we're fairly similar. We're only 10 years old. We are the national carrier of the UAE. We're a full-service global airline. We have a strong brand in 10 years. When we started in 2006, we turned over $300 million US. This year, we'll turn over $7.4 billion. We're the fastest growing airline in the history of civil aviation, but in everything we do, we take a long-term perspective. The mandate I have is it's about profitability and sustainability, and that's similar with the airlines that we invest in. Every airline we've invested in, it's clear they're either in profit or they're moving back to profitability or they will be profitable. We have strong governance, we have strong focus on how we integrate our services. Safety is fundamental. On-time performance, the key KPIs of running an airline. And a successful airline also has a major impact on the economy. From a catalytic effect, from a direct spend and indirect spend, it creates jobs. It creates downstream activity. So profitable airlines are not only good for the shareholder of the airline, but they're good for the economy. As an airline, we employ over 20,000 people. We operate to over 100 cities, operate 100 aircraft. We have another 200 aircraft on order. We have 142 different nationalities within the business. So we're truly a global airline taking advantage of our crossroad in Abu Dhabi. But airline industry is changing, and it continues to change. Airlines are looking for ways to consolidate the challenges of legacy carriers, first new age carriers. And one of the challenges of aviation globally, that under the bilateral process, the Chicago Convention, airlines can't globalize. So how do they take advantage of the rapidly growing markets in India, in China, in South Asia, which are overtaking Europe, the traditional markets of aviation? How do we counter and negotiate against the low-cost carriers? And how do we take advantage in our right of geography, where we are positioned, and aircraft technology that we can fly to all points of the world non-stop? So we embarked on a strategy to take on our two key competitors. On one hand, Emirates, on the other hand, Qatar. How do we build a model to give us the scale to compete? And that was built on organic growth, as I mentioned, 100 aircraft, 200 aircraft to come, but we're still half the size of Emirates. Co-chair, working with other airlines, and then minority investments in other airlines to build collaborative agreements, to create scale, but more importantly, to stretch the network and obviously work over the Abu Dhabi hub. Now that's a reflection of the co-chair partners that we have, where we operate into a major city, we can stretch the network. So in America, we work with American Airlines and JetBlue. In Europe, with Air France and KLM. So when we fly into a gateway, we can stretch the network. Likewise, when we come into India, we stretch the network with Jet Airways. The other element is that we have invested in these airlines, and this is probably where we differ to the traditional alliance strategy. It's not the Swiss Air strategy, which is primarily a European strategy where airlines overlapped. It's a global strategy to take advantage of our geographic positioning, to stretch the network and to integrate the flying, as we have today. Over Abu Dhabi to New York, we operate in the morning. Jet Airways, wet-leased aircraft due to the FAA downgrade, operates at night. We're about to launch later this year San Francisco with a Delhi, Abu Dhabi, San Francisco with a Jet Airways 777. So we look at ways to stretch the network. And each of these airlines, Alitalia gives us a strong positioning in Europe, Air Serbia in the Balkans, Air Seychelles gives us a base in the Indian Ocean, Etihad Regional out of Lugano, Zurich and Geneva feed secondary cities. Air Berlin, the sixth largest airline in Europe, gives us Germany, Austria, Switzerland. Virgin Australia gives us 45 cities in Australia and New Zealand. And Aer Lingus gives us the ability to service the US over Dublin, where we fly to twice a day. It's all about how do we first integrate the top line, looking for common goals. We look at how we integrate the networks to stretch the network. In an age of changing consumer behaviour and buyer behaviour, it's like you here. The digital strategy has changed the way you do your job. The digital age is going to change the way people buy travel in the future. So access to network and connectivity becomes, in our opinion, a fundamental point in how you determine who you travel with. But whether it be cost, aircraft, resource sharing, as Naresh mentioned, technology. Instead of going in as a $3 or $4 billion company when we talk to partners, we go in as a $24 billion US dollar group. So that means the scale, the unit cost reduction, the ability to rework your business, to talk to financiers, to talk to banks, the dialogue certainly changes. So certainly for us, obviously our gateway is Abu Dhabi, and how we connect between India and the Gulf is very important. The number one inbound market for both Dubai and Abu Dhabi is India. And this isn't about moving the traffic all across the Gulf. It's also how we take advantage of Jet Airways moving to Paris, moving to Europe. How do we create an open door strategy? But together with our partners of 9 airlines, we're able to stretch the globe. And that's key. And certainly no market is more important to us than India. If you just look at your own market of 40 million travellers, but if you look at the Americas, if you look at Europe, if you look at Australia, the expatriate market of India, as you know, the Indian subcontinent is considerable. So the way we tap in to the Indian market, how we take advantage of that strong trade positioning, that strong relationship in culture, we see as key to building our business, because it is a great business. 42 million people travel. They're into brand. There's a market there, long haul for business and economy. It's a huge domestic market that is changing fast, and certainly the market continues to grow. So India is critical to our future. In our investment, we have no exit strategy. We're here to rebuild with Jet, and reposition the airline as a great airline and a great brand. As I said, what Naresh has done in building this business, the largest private airline, having spent the last 12 months working through the FDI process with him, wow, what this man has achieved and the impact he has is extraordinary. So we have a springboard, a perfect partner for Etihad Airways, but we're a perfect partner for Jet Airways also. This is a partnership. It's a global partnership. It isn't one side's stronger or the other. We're a minority investor, and we've invested because of Naresh Goyal. We've invested due to his team, and that 24% investment, the first foreign direct investment in India, was very important. Very important for our strategy, but there was no one else we would work with. We looked at others. We kept on coming back to Naresh. And whilst it's been a long roadmap, already in the results of not only Jet Airways, but Etihad Airways in the first quarter, we see the impact of the power of two. Because that's what we've come together, the power of two, creating connectivity. Together, over 220 aircraft. So we're already talking to Boeing and Airbus and GE and Rolls-Royce as one. We're carrying in excess of 20 million passengers. We employ between us 33,000 employees, and we're using Abu Dhabi, Bombay, Delhi, and a whole range of other Indian cities as key traffic points. And our 3-year roadmap to move back to profitability has significant growth plans. So, to the contrary, people say, well, maybe we're a risk to Bombay or Delhi airports. No, we're in fact going to grow the traffic together over those key hubs. And the network will continue to grow. And that's where you see the roadmap emerging with the domestic market opening up in India, how we feed each other. And what this gives the guest, the consumer, is much more choice. Business is about segmentation. It's about understanding the guest buyer behavior. It's making sure you've got the right proposition for the right purchase, whether it's business traffic, leisure traffic, worker traffic, religious traffic, to ensure we have the proposition to grow the business. And together, we're growing a global network of cities through our equity partnerships. And we talk a lot about the guest, Naresh and I. The guest is fundamental. How we ensure we respect the guests, how we give them that choice. We are building already those routes into the Americas. We're actually now bringing our wide-bodied aircraft for the first time into India to make sure we've got the right capacity. And we continue to build the connectivity, the code-share options to ensure the travel partners can work with us. Loyalty programs, how we ensure there are reciprocal benefits, how we ensure that we continue to improve the standard of service and achieve commonality. So lounges going forward, how we share airport teams, how we look at ways to be more efficient. Because when you become more efficient in the operation, we're going to be tackling the financial restructuring. That means you can put more money back into the product and service. So it's about building a strong, competitive and compelling offering together. For Jet, this deal means their financial position will change. We're working together with the banks, James Rigney, working with Kramer Ball and the financial team of Jet Airways, meeting with the banks. We're currently working through the restructuring of Jet Airways to ensure it's positioned properly moving forward. Resource sharing, how we look at sharing maintenance facilities, how we support each other with expertise, how we negotiate airport facilities. Procurement, major area of opportunity. Feed and leveraging the relationships that we have. We talk about not only the power of two, but with Alitalia, the power of 9 airlines coming together. The 9 airlines, all of us, 9 CEOs, we sit around the table, we make decisions about cooperation. I think what reflects how serious we are about Jet is in fact the scale of our investment. 24% investment for $380 million to enable us to put more cash in the business. We purchased the slots and leased them back to Jet Airways. We've acquired the frequent flyer major share program of the frequent flyer, and we're continually looking at ways to help restructure. But $750 million US reflects that we're committed, reflects that we know this man and his team can lead this airline back to profitability. Because a stronger Jet Airways is good for everyone. It's good for India. It's good for us as investors. Today at the AGM with the other investors, they were keen to understand how we can restructure, how we can return back to sustainable profitability. It's about rebuilding, it's about growth, it's about a stronger competitive proposition in a global aviation market. Now, we as a new airline have been fortunate that we've been able to build a in-flight proposition based on innovation. And where we can bring that innovation and sharing together, we will. So our product is regarded as a young airline, I would say the best in the world, but it is regarded as one of the best in the world. And certainly innovation. Innovation of how we come together. This is our Airbus A380, and all of you being journalists, I know would be delighted to spend $20,000 to take this aircraft from Abu Dhabi to London, one way, but you can take a friend. It's the first product that has a double seat, has a shower, has a double bedroom, in a space of the aircraft that was wasted. And innovation is about looking at the product, getting the costs right, and getting the seat count right. And they're the key factors that we drive through in everything we look, because getting the right unit cost, getting the right utilization, get the right financing, all these factors come together and you make money. You make money. You know, we're in this to make money. And that's the mantra in all the airlines that we work with. And the strategy is great for the consumer because it is about a stronger network moving forward. It's new routes, schedules and travel options for the consumer. It's collaborative agreements to build the business. Choice, consistency, stability and reliability. And we're here to stay. We are here to stay. We're not a normal shareholder listening. We're there to support. We're there to understand. We're here to build with Naresh, not actually build, rebuild Jet Airways, because he's actually done it before. He was a man who built Jet Airways. He knows what to do. The market in aviation changes. That presents an opportunity for us, and we're determined to move forward. So that was just to give you a sense of our focus, our strategy, our commitment, and with that, I'll hand over to Kramer Ball. Kramer.
So I'll request Kramer, our designated CEO, to make his own presentation, and then we will move on.
Namaste. As CEO designate, I've been asked by our chairman, Mr. Goyal, to present to you today where Jet Airways is today and where we're going. I'm also very proud to be sitting alongside a visionary. Someone, or actually two visionaries. Someone, Mr. Goyal, who reshaped aviation in India. And of course, Mr. Hogan, working together to reshape the new Jet Airways. Mr. Goyal introduced a great brand. And wherever you go around the world, Jet Airways is a great brand. But it's been tough conditions. But now it's time to re-energise. Now it's time to recreate Jet Airways into India's leading airline. So how did Jet Airways come to be in this position? It certainly has been tough. Difficult economic climate, the rapid growth of LCCs, volatile fuel prices, a need to invest in the business. And quite frankly, we've confused our customer. We have had multiple brands, Jet Airways, Jet Light, Jet Connect. So what do we as a business need to do? We need to respond and we need to change. And there's no doubt that change is tough. And we're already making hard decisions. But we have a plan, and we have a plan to re-energise this business. So our business today, international and domestic airline, the airline components. Domestic is our major challenge. Requires restructure. International, at the moment, contributes to 54% of our business. By the end of the financial year, it'll be over 60%. And what does that mean? It means it creates a natural hedge to our business. Last financial year, we closed with a significant loss for over 4,000 crore. We took some hard decisions, the board took some hard decisions to take some significant non-cash write-downs, leading to an operational loss of just over 2,000 crore. Are we making progress? Yes. increased revenue for the first quarter, growing codeshares, building partnerships, increased global connectivity to markets, reconfiguration of fleet, invest in fleet, and reduce costs, drive efficiencies, bring efficiencies into our business. So where does that position us? For the first quarter, as Mr. Goyle said, overall revenues for the Jet Group were up 12.8%. Passenger revenue up over 11%. Cargo revenue up 10%. Net loss decreased by 26% quarter on quarter. Debt reduced by 21.5%. Seat factor up over 2%. Codeshare traffic, as Mr. Goyle mentioned, up 150%. We're seeing signs. We're seeing signs that our business model is starting to take effect. The first sign is our international network is already profitable. What do we need to do? We need to build upon that and build quickly. This gives us a very strong foundation for the future. So where are we heading? 2015, reduce our loss. 2016, consolidate. 2017, 3 years profitability. And what are the key elements of that? Restructure debt, reduce liabilities, work smarter, economies of scale, work in partnership with key partners like Etihad Airways, drive economies of scale through our business. It's about building efficiency in our fleet, flying our aircraft smarter networks, improving the quality of revenue, and we're seeing that in the first quarter, higher load factors. And it becomes about the customer. Reward, recognition, and looking after the customer. Our international product is still amongst the best in the business. First class, business class, our premier class, economy, still amongst the best in the business. Other airlines have used Jet Airways as a benchmark. What do we need to do? We need to build upon that. We need to continue to invest in our international product. But our domestic business faces challenges. There's intense competition in the domestic market. We need to restore profitability. We need to restructure. We need to streamline. We need to simplify what we do. Too many brands. The customer needs to know exactly what they're buying and they're going to get what they pay for. And we'll see changes to this. Changes will be implemented over the next 12 months. So a key part of that change is, as I mentioned before, a strong, unified Jet Airways, leveraging the great brand that Mr. Goyle established and built over many years. The strong brand that is Jet Airways. One brand across our domestic business. High quality, two class, delivering exceptional value, delivering exceptional service. Consistency. Sorry. Consistency across everything that we do, across our business, harnessing the heritage and power of Jet Airways. It gives us operational flexibility, but it gives the customer great choice, great value for money, and excellent quality. Business class, the best in the business. Our business class will be the best in the business. Lounges, seat assignment, increased luggage allowance, premium, quality. It's about the customer. And with the customer also comes reward and recognition. Recognising the customer, the frequent flyer, reward and recognition. And what's key is partnering Jet Privilege with Etihad Guest, giving the customer global access from India. Our domestic product, it's about value with differentiation. Targeting the customers who seek competitive fares but a very, very high quality product. It's about delivering that. It's about also delivering the domestic customer in economy, reward and recognition, choice, flexibility. And how does that look with our international network? Our domestic business is a key component of what we do. The network is key to our business. But how does that fit with our international network? How does it knit together? It's about our home hubs, feeding our home hubs of New Delhi and Mumbai. It's about working with our gateway, one of our gateways, which is Abu Dhabi. And it's about working in partnership with code shares. And India, Abu Dhabi, as Mr. Goyal and Mr. Hogan mentioned, is a key pillar of a new network strategy. We currently fly to 6 destinations. That will grow by the end of the year. We have something that no other airline except for Etihad Airways has. That is US pre-customs clearance in Abu Dhabi. So our customers can fly into Abu Dhabi, pre-clear immigration in Abu Dhabi, fly onto the US and land as a domestic customer. No clearance in the US. We currently have 312 combinations through Abu Dhabi. That will grow to over 1,200. More choice, more flexibility for our guest. And our home hubs. Mr. Goyal already mentioned about Ho Chi Minh City. Other destinations, KL, Rangoon. But it's about looking smartly within the region about where we can expand. And it's about expanding profitability. It's about being smart. And medium long haul. What does that look like? We started Paris earlier this year. The loads are very good. The cargo loads are very good. That is being successful. It's about what other opportunities are there in the medium to long haul markets. New routes. China, Australia, Southeast Asia, Europe. What are the opportunities? And quite frankly, when you knit all that together, our domestic network, our international network, our partnership through Abu Dhabi, look at where we fly. What that states is about choice and flexibility for the customer in India, choice and flexibility for those customers, those visitors who come through to India from virtually anywhere around the world to anywhere in India. And what is key? What is key on our delivery is our people. What is key to the change and the future of Jet Airways is not just aeroplanes, not just quality, not just brand, because reflective in all of that is our people. And our people will drive the change. It's about investing in our people, focusing on training, focusing on best practice, focusing on career opportunities. But our people are what will deliver this. And that means that Jet Airways will again reshape aviation industry in India. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ball, and Mr. Hogan and Mr. Goyal. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now that we've heard our panel, we move on into the next part of this evening. And as we do so, I'd like to thank our viewers who joined us on the live webcast as we take your leave now.